Hi, this is Rick from For Community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God. When I was a teenager, I spent a lot of my summers, most of my summer, working at Circle Square Ranch as a teen camp counselor. And one summer we had this wonderful, awesome, horrifying crisis come our way. A tornado blew through the camp. And it happened to blow through our camp at just the exact time when all of the full-time staff, all of the camp staff were off the property. It was only us summer staff people. Remember watching the sky turn green. I remember all of us teenagers looking at each other as, like, I don't know, 150, maybe 200, probably closer to 150 children between the ages of maybe 9 through 11. Then the younger kids, 5 to 7, they're all in our care. So we did whatever we could do to help them. We rushed them into the basement. We pulled them out of all of their games. We comforted them as best as we could, and we hid. And the tornado did indeed come through the camp, knocking down lots of trees. We spent the next day with chainsaws clearing all the roads so the parents could get in to pick up the kids. And we really hovered, cowered, protected inside the basement of the large building that we had. Us summer staff who were part of that moment acted so very well. I'm going to toot my horn just a little bit because I think I was only 16 at the time. I'm not ashamed of myself or any of my friends. I think we all rocked it, particularly as we saw the sky turn green and the clouds swirling and the funnel coming towards us. I think we did a really good job. What about you? Can you think of a crisis that happened to you and you were in the center of it and you stepped up and demonstrated some kind of help or some kind of leadership? If you're watching with someone, would you please share your story and toot your own horn just a little bit because you rocked it? And also, I know I've got some neighbors and personal friends that are watching, dudes and dudettes. Please ask me for the link so that I can hear your stories as well when we gather this coming Sunday. This video is based on my interpretation of 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 5 through 6. In this text, we see the issue of trials, which are moments when people experience a crisis. And we see Peter, the guy writing this book, addressing the options that we have in the middle of a crisis to encourage us and also to remind us of the power that we have. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 5 through 6. So be truly glad. There is wonderful joy ahead, even though you must endure many trials for a little while. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed to the whole world.
Hello, would you like anything else with your croissant?
Yes, coffee, please.
Coming right up. Oh, careful, the coffee's hot.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Have you watched the For Community video yet?
No.
Well, make sure you look in the background for all the cool characters. And kids, don't forget to watch this week's episode of Connect HQ.
Okay.
Here's a point I want to make in this video. Never waste a good crisis. That tornado coming through camp was not good, and the crisis was not good, but it was a moment not to waste. It was a moment for us as teenagers to step up and demonstrate our leadership and demonstrate our capacity to work well together. So it was a crisis that we stepped up into, and we didn't waste the crisis by cowering and letting go of our agency, our self-efficacy. Instead, we stood up and we didn't let that trial happen to us. We happened to that trial. That's the point here. Never waste a good crisis. Life is hard. Anyone saying otherwise is trying to sell you something. That's a movie quote. I have no idea where I got it from, but I love that quote. I think that this passage has two things to tell us about how we can handle a crisis really well. First, enduring trials is essential. The text says, you must endure many trials for a little while. My initial illustration of a tornado is pretty cool and so random. Tornadoes may not be the norm, but experiencing a crisis is a norm. I pray so very often for my life to be better and calmer and have the resources that I need, particularly when I'm faced with a crisis. When a crisis comes my way, one of the first things I do is pray and say, God, help me through this crisis. Can you even take it away? But I think that's because I'm addicted to an instant gratification North American culture. And I don't think it's entirely healthy for me. Instant gratification doesn't make me stronger. It doesn't reveal who I truly am. Instant gratification makes me soft and does nothing for my character development. Let's think about trials for a second. Let's think about what a crisis is. It's not judgment. It's not God's act of judgment against you like you're doing something wrong. When people face a trial, when people are in a crisis, it's not because God doesn't like you. It's because life is hard. God didn't send a problem your way. The reason why you have a problem isn't because people don't like you, it's because life is hard. In the midst of this hard life, we have the opportunity to rise to the occasion and happen to those trials. I want to talk to you a little bit about an idea called the locus of control. The idea that we actually have the power to control our behavior and to control our responses. You know, some people go through life and saying, oh man, that guy, that girl got that job because they're lucky. Or I'm in the position that I'm in because I'm lucky. Other people go through life and say, I got this position because I was intentional about it. I went to school and I earned this. Or they look at other people and they applaud them for the position and the accolades they're receiving because they know that they worked hard and they earned and deserve where they have gotten to. You can either happen to the world or you can be the kind of person that allows the world to happen to you. Happen to the world. Because if the world happens to you, it's just always going to be hard. Never waste a good crisis. It allows your character to be revealed. Don't sit back and allow the world to happen to you and allow your crisis happen to you. Step up and lean into it. The message in this first point is that trials are just a part of life, but they're also temporary. Put your trial in context. The text says, in just a little while, Jesus is coming. Our trials, our crisis is going to be over soon. When you're praying about your trials, maybe don't pray about being rescued just so quickly. Remember your locus of control. Remember that you're not broken, you're not weak. You can happen to the world, so don't wait for the world to happen to you. You can happen to your crisis. Don't let your crisis run all over you. Step up. Embrace the quality that's within you, that God put inside of you, and take the opportunity to let negative experiences stretch you and make you stronger. Secondly, demonstrating faith is essential. The text says, trials will show that your faith is genuine. It's being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed to the whole world. Regarding the opening illustration around the tornado, I'm very happy to say that the summer staff earned much favor and praise from the full-time staff who were not there to help. We were valued, we were trusted, we were respected beyond our years really justified. In the moment, we were rising to the occasion to do the best that we could. We had no idea of the kind of accolades to follow, but accolades came. Now, accolades, glory, and honor, they're part of you demonstrating your faith in a trial. However, there's more to say than just that, because when we're in the middle of a trial, we're likely not thinking about accolades. We're just thinking about how to survive well. Your faith isn't about waiting for Jesus to rescue you. He's already started that work with his death and his resurrection. And he's completing that work with his second coming. Your faith is about your belief, stepping into your God-given self-efficacy and kingdom agency, and is going to yield rewards. God sees everything you're doing, either in front of people or when no one's watching. God sees the demonstration of your character. Your faith is what you lean on in order to convince yourself not to give up. Your faith is what you lean on in order not to take the weak way out and just wait for a crisis to pass. By faith, we're looking forward to a better future with Jesus. By faith, we're stepping up and enduring trials right now as representatives of how Jesus wants us to be interacting with others and interacting with this world. Here's where your locus of control, your idea that you happen to the world and the world doesn't happen to you, here's where this really counts. When you happen to the world, you are happening to it as Jesus would happen to it. You're loving others. You're loving God. You're laying your life down for the sake of a friend, which is the greatest demonstration of love. What you're not doing is allowing the trial to speak to your worth. You're not allowing that trial inform you of the lack of God's favor or the loss of God's blessing. Trials do not have the ability. They don't have the strength to remove God's blessing or God's love from you. The crisis that you're experiencing right now is no indication of God's loss of love for you. Living faith first means you're happening to your trial and your trial isn't happening to you, which are pretty words just to say that you can't lay down, you can't sleep, you can't wait your way through it. When you step up and believe that God has empowered you already, and you're not broken, and you have the capacity to manage your emotions and resources, you have the power to demonstrate to God something that will result in your glory and your honor because God sees. But wait, let's take a softer approach as well. If you are out of gas, you're out of gas. It's okay. It sucks feeling burnt out and out of gas. So what do? Find a friend. Find someone to connect with who can help you gain your strength again. It's okay. There's no judgment here. Sometimes, because life is hard, life knocks us down so much that we really just need a time out. So take your time out by connecting with someone who's going to help you find your strength again and put you back on your feet and speak faith back into you. It's going to be okay. Here's a summary. Trials are essential for all of us. They're opportunities for us to grow our character, to grow as people, and to become more than we are right now. Faith is essential. During opportunities, we're faith forward as we step into the trial and happen to it instead of allowing it to happen to us and being passive about it. And as we live faith first, understanding that God has already empowered us to step into these harder moments of life, and to trust that He's already there with us and working things out. We have the encouragement in this text that this is not in vain. When Jesus returns, we'll be receiving glory and honor for remaining faithful and living faith first rather than passively. So try to resist the temptation to instantly pray that God gets you out of a trial, that God rescues you from a crisis. Instead, look for an opportunity to put your faith to the test and allow that crisis to grow you. Allow that crisis to present you with an opportunity so that others can see Jesus who is inside of you. Here's a takeaway. Never waste a good crisis. Use it as an opportunity to grow, to live faith first, and demonstrate your kingdom agency so that others can hear about and experience how awesome Jesus is through you. That's it from me to you for now. Would you please like? Would you please share? Would you please subscribe? And would you please ask for the link? I'm loving these discussions that we're having. Please join us in the discussion. I don't bite. It's awesome. If you'd like to contribute, you can see the link down in the show notes to contribute for community, creating community spaces so that you can connect with others and also with God. See you next time.